for you, waiting here for you. I don't wanna waste my time, waiting here for you, waiting here for you. I've had one too many sleepless nights, waiting here for you, waiting here for you. And I won't wait any longer. Ooh, I've been waiting here too long. Oh baby, I'll be gone, I'll be gone.
It's that time of the week where the hottest Kenyan millennials jazz up your afternoon with their refreshing live talk show. You are now tuned in to the 254 Millennial Talk.
It's not even my birthday.
Alright, for some reason all my audio sources had been reset. I don't know why that's a thing, but seems to be a thing. But yo, it's Bloody Actor, guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of the 254 Millennial Talk. Hopefully you've had a lovely month. Now the election shenanigans, all the politics in this country have ended, and it's a good thing because politics is such a boring thing, man. Like, politics sucks so much in this country. And people are generally tired of politics in this country. People just want to, go on with their lives. They need to, do whatever they have to do to make a living and all that stuff. But again, this is not like a political show. But yeah, we've been on break. I don't know if I will call it a break, but yeah, it's been a minute since you've last seen or since you've last listened to a topic. Since you've maybe listened to a new episode from the Millennial Talk. And finally, the sun is back. That's the good thing about this month. The sun is back. At least it's not as cold as it was for the past few months, which is something that I really like. I prefer when it's hot, because at least, when it's hot, you can do a lot of things, man. When it's cold, you always just feel like, staying in the house and sleeping and all that stuff. Plus, I don't know, man. Anyway, but when it's warm and sunny, I'm in a good mood. But yeah, today we had to talk about the Intel Arc GPUs. But I'm alone. I'm sure you can tell by now I'm alone. So yeah, we're here to talk about the Intel Arc GPUs, and maybe how they might affect the GPU market going forward in the industry. So for the longest time, Intel, not Intel, but AMD and NVIDIA have been the two duopoly companies that like sell GPUs. Like, it's only basically been them. Intel has been not technically selling GPUs, but they have these things we call APUs. APUs are GPUs embedded within the CPU. So this is why most computers you see in a cybercafe are not AMD, they're Intel, because they don't need a graphics card to power on your display. But we have new processors where you actually do need a graphics card, especially processors from AMD don't usually have APUs inside of them. So you find that for them you need a graphics card. So because I remember the first time I heard about that, I was like, because I remember it was this guy called Case saying that, I don't have a GPU so I can display my monitor. And I asked him, so you just plug it to the motherboard, it's going to like turn on. And then, that's when I realized, Kumbe AMD never used to ship APUs inside their CPUs. But yeah, it was, for the longest time, it had been the duopoly between Intel and AMD. And I mean, today but AMD is the only one that seems to be in both sides of like the duopoly in terms of CPU, meaning, Intel produces CPUs and AMD produces CPUs for desktops. So those are the two duopolies. And for the GPUs, we have the duopoly between NVIDIA and AMD. So, but now it seems there's going to be a triopoly, if that is even a word, a triopoly between Intel, NVIDIA, and AMD. So Intel has decided to get into the market and make their own GPUs, which are quite decent. I'm going to talk about the numbers in a few. But I have checked some of their charts, some of their readings. As you can see, I can even pull up. And most of these references that I'm talking about today, posted them. I've made sure to include them on the reference section. So for you to get access to this information, to these references, make sure you're on the Discord. So let's go to the desktop scene. This is where I'm going to show my browser here. Alright, as you can see, these are some of the charts that Hardware Unboxed was doing. So as you can see, the Intel, where are those Intel? Yeah, the Intel A380, and I think this is the entry level card. As you can see, it's not a bad performer. I heard it's supposed to be $150 or $120, which is quite cheap for an entry level graphics card. I think that one is something that maybe if you're not into like heavy games, that is something that would serve you very, very well. But I think a better chart is this one, where they were testing another branch of their Intel Arc GPUs, which this one being the Arc A750, which was being compared to an NVIDIA RTX 3060. As you can see, I did log on to the website. Again, if you want access to this table, make sure you join the Discord server. It's under references. But as you can see, for 1080p Ultra, we can see what the hell is this? I've never even heard of this game. This is the first title. There is 127 FPS at 1080p Ultra, 99 at 1440p. For the NVIDIA, we have 108 and 80. For Assassin's Creed Valhalla, as you can see, it's on 1080p Ultra. It's on 67 FPS. Yeah, I can see the NVIDIA is way ahead on that one. Yeah, because I was like, 67, that's very low. Because the thing is, you want, especially for people who have monitors that are above 100 FPS, you want an FPS that is averagely above 100. And if it's dipping, maybe the lowest 80s, right? And especially like for me when I'm streaming, I think the minute you turn on a stream, it's like the performance hit on your GPU is so hard, right? Like you get like a 10 FPS decrease in your game. So you will be wanting 67 FPS, because if it's like slashing almost 10 or 15 frames, you see you're going to dip under 60, which is not really that much of a good thing. But yeah, compared to the RTX 3060, 76, 1440, 67. But the strange thing here is, looking at this chart, look, the card has, it only lost 5 frames on 1440, while the NVIDIA one slashed 10. That is strange. But for what is that? Yeah, for resolution, for 1080p, apparently games tend to be more bound to the CPU at 1080p, but the minute you cross 1080p and go to higher resolutions like 1440p, this is where you find games tend to be very GPU intensive, right? So, but that's funny though. But that's for Assassin's Creed. Battlefield, no, this is not even a good game to benchmark. This game already has bugs. Warzone is a good title. 130 frames on 1080p. That's good. What? Is this correct? Why is the RTX getting 68, 98, and then 75? That's strange. And this is by the DirectX 12. But again, if you want access to this chart, just go to my references section on Discord. Specifically, you can go on the voice chat that I'm in and check it here, or you can go to the references section, and I've posted everything that I'm going to talk about today, and most of the things I talk about on the show are usually on that specific section. But damn, that's crazy. In some days, I don't know why there's these jumps in numbers. Like, it seems the engine, not Unity, but Ubisoft are using seems to be not favoring Intel. Is there another Ubisoft title on this? I don't know. Ubisoft has not been making a lot of games, so Jesus, look at Red Dead Redemption. Though I know Red Dead Redemption is a heavy game, I'm not even kidding. My GPU was struggling to even hit 60. So, holy crap. Why is it 53 on 1080p, and then once you jump to, what the fuck is that, Red Dead Redemption again, and then when you jump to 1440, it's now high. That's weird. Resident Evil Village, this is not a hard game to run. I was hitting above 60 most of the time. It's not a hard game to run, and it looks so nice. Should probably replay it. But again, World of Warcraft is not a challenging game. These games where you see 200 FPS, these are not challenging games. But overall, good numbers. I don't know. Do they have I think they have an Arc A850. Let me look at that. Is that even a thing? Let me check that. By the way, if you're on Spotify and you're watching and you're not seeing the video, the option to see video, probably use a VPN. A good free one is Windscribe. Log on to your profile on Spotify, change your account to maybe US or something. You will be able to unlock video. But I was looking. Let's look at do they have an A50? Let me see. Intel Arc. An A8, not A50, an A8. It's such a strange name to say. I'm looking to see whether they have. As it loads. But I don't know. Overall, I don't think it's a bad GPU. I think, but the thing to note though is because AMD and NVIDIA, and this is something that Linus even said, because AMD and NVIDIA have been making graphics cards for so long, they've had years of like backward compatibility. So the Intel cards are really bad at old games. So I wouldn't recommend buying an Intel card if you know you're going to be going back to older titles. It's not something I would definitely not recommend. So again, this is because they're new to the market. So honestly, we can't blame them. They're new to the market, and of course, I'm sure they'll get to a point where they're going to be supporting older games. But plus, I saw Microsoft released like a translation layer for DirectX. I don't know 9, the older DirectX. So probably that is going to help Intel Arc's graphics card catch up. But that's something to look out for. It's not like go out there and buy these graphics cards. It's something that you need to actually, consider. Do you actually want to play older games? For me, I do sometimes go revisit some of the older games I did play a long time ago. So, and the performance, I'm not gonna lie, the performance for the older games it's terrible. It's not really nice. It's really, really not nice. So yeah, but going to more productivity based things where maybe for me I'm going to talk about things like video rendering. Maybe you're editing and you need to render a project quick, apparently, but they've been always good. I've seen benchmarks on like the integrated QuickSync encoder for Intel, and it was always good. It was never bad, by the way, especially with Adobe stuff. It was always nice. So I can only imagine the same trend is going to go on. Because right now, if you were to ask me, would I recommend you buying anything other than an NVIDIA graphics card if you plan on productivity? So when I say productivity, I mean like things like video rendering, 3D animation, 3D rendering, what else? Not sound is not reliant on the graphics card. What else? Things like I'm trying to think. Streaming. Maybe you stream a lot of games. This is something that I would say it's really NVIDIA has the leap there, especially in things like rendering. The reason, even the biggest reason as why I switched to using DaVinci Resolve, which is the editing software from Blackmagic, is because it tends to utilize your GPU very well. So the timeline is responsive. It's not like where I would place videos in a timeline in Premiere Pro and the timeline is like they're stuttering and doing nothing. That is not something that you would want. So those are the things that I'm saying you must be out on the lookout for, because or maybe you want an all-round card, where this is a card where you can render videos, you can play games, you can stream, at that point still I'll still recommend NVIDIA, and this is because the thing with NVIDIA cards, even the older ones, because I'm not on the new RTX cards, I'm on a 970. The NVENC encoder is something that is found in OBS. I don't know if I can open another instance of OBS. Let's see, launch anyway. I think I can open another instance. So I think Slatman has joined. Mr. Slatman, stima zimerudi.
Nataka kuinstall Discord lakini sikumbuki password yangu kwa simu.
Kwani hauna two-factor authentication or what?
After like it requires you to remember your password.
Sorry man. Umeweza kulogin?
No, si niko kwa com saizi, stima zimerudi. No, nilikuwa nataka kuinstall
Kwa simu. Alright. Anyway, Mr. Slabman is here. Qshax is saying Intel GPUs are the worst. I mean, they are not the worst. Why are you saying that? Have you done research? Or are you just blabbing in the comments?
They actually, for what? For gaming? Agreed. For gaming, they actually.
Hata amejoin. Qshax, Mr. Qshax, why are you saying they are worst? They're not bad. I mean, they have their performance out there. They've been benchmarked. They're not bad, so I think you're spreading false. Don't speak out of. Yani speak. Be informed while before speaking. You know, this is a podcast. I'm not here to spread lies. Anyway, but they're not bad. Leave Qshax alone. For an entry, plus this is their first time they're making a graphic card, so I wouldn't necessarily say they're bad. I was explaining, I think I pulled up a second instance of, what? Oh, yeah, yes. I think I pulled up a second instance of OBS to demonstrate something. So, yeah, I was saying, before Mr. Slatty joined, as you can see, there's this thing we call encoder, right? So normally, if my system I detected I have Intel graphics, you will see three of them. You will see the QuickSync or the X264, or right now because I have an NVIDIA graphics card, that's why you can see the NVENC new. So NVENC new is NVENC is basically NVIDIA's encoder for encoding H.264, which is a type of MP4. So normally we have video codecs. The way we have audio codecs like MP3, .AAC, .wav, .FLAC, it's the same thing with videos. You find that there's specific codecs that are more preferable. Now the thing is, I don't know if H.264 is paid for, or because I know H.265 is not free, because I even had to find a workaround to make it work on movies and TV from Microsoft. So yes, so this is what I was saying, because most of the newer NVIDIA cards have a dedicated encoder to encode this. You find that if you're streaming, Qshax, you have a noisy mic, I'm saying. If you're streaming, you find that it's kinda going to be convenient for you when you're streaming with an NVIDIA card, right? As opposed to, because the minute you choose something like X.264, this is something that is.
Okay.
Let me mute him. Hey, and if you're coming to podcast, by the way, make sure you have a good mic, or I'll just deafen you. So, last chance. If your mic is still noisy, I'm still going to mute you.
Is it noisy?
We have background noise, you say,
Oh,
and I can hear myself.
Okay.
I can hear myself. Kwanza fix that. So, as I was saying, like, so for an encoder like X.264, this is something that is very CPU heavy. So this is where maybe if you have an AMD processor with like 13 cores or 16 cores, this is where X.264 is handy. And there's, for some time, people believed X.264 was the best, but right now I think the way the NVENC has become so good, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's the best bad, because it's more of both settings, both where are you using the CPU properly or are you using the graphics card properly. Like it's a mix between both settings and what you put here, so it's not like an automatic setting. So those are the things that I'm saying. If maybe you're considering productivity, is it something that you will actually sit down and say, hey, I want to buy an Intel graphics card, you know? And the reason also I brought this up is because, and I think I even mentioned earlier, is the rendering with the Intel, QuickSync, especially with Adobe software. It used to be quick, so I think the same is like to be expected with this new ARC graphics cards, because I even saw some benchmarks. There's a video I posted by Epos Vox. He was talking about this new video codec that is open source, that is being developed by all of these companies. So apparently everyone, if you've done some streaming, like right now I'm streaming at like 3500 bitrate, right? So everyone would still look so good at half the bitrate that I'm streaming right now. So, and also a smaller file size, right? So it's a video codec that has been in development for some time now. So, and apparently the new Intel Arc graphics cards are surprisingly very good at decoding it. So I don't know what NVIDIA's response will be, because NVIDIA has, of course, maybe it's just some driver updates, and maybe the RT cores, the NVENC cores, maybe will be able to support the AV1 encoding. But Slati, what do you think about this new Intel GPUs?
Oh, I think like you mentioned, the encoding is what they have going on, or like might be the best feature. In terms of gaming, they've admitted they have problems, especially with Nandi X12 titles, especially starting from DirectX 9 titles. They're having a lot of issues. And apparently, as it turns out, most people, you and I included, play DirectX 9 games still, some DirectX 11. DirectX 12 games are not really that popular, or that they are not a lot. So by them admitting that they are having problems with an API that is already, that with APIs that are very, very popular, it sort of marginalizes some people from getting them. But apparently, that in the DirectX titles, they are doing quite well. They are keeping up.
Yeah, there's a chart I had pulled up on screen. There's even a chart they provided where generally, okay, a good example is like you see in Warzone, an ARC A750 will give you 130 FPS 1080p Ultra. When you go to 1440p, you have 115. While as it was being compared to an RTX 3060, a 3060 will give you 98, and then on 1080p, and then 75 on 1440.
Yeah.
So it's doing good on some titles, which is to be expected. I mean, AMD and AMD graphics cards and NVIDIA graphics cards, they also do the same thing. They trade blows. They win some, they lose some. And I think even earlier I mentioned your story, not being able to support the older DirectX, but Microsoft apparently has released a translation layer to help the older games to utilize DX12, which is something they should have done. Yeah, they're working. I don't know if they've released it. I saw it on TechLinked. Is it TechLinked or what? Or maybe I don't even know. I've watched so many ARC videos today when I was researching. I don't even know where I saw that, but there's something like that is in the works.
The most interesting thing about developing GPUs, and Intel admitted to this, or gave it away, is that when you're developing for, especially if you're coming new to the market like they are, you have to do like title optimization one by one.
Jesus, what?
I did not know that. Yeah, bro, I did not know that.
That's challenging. How many games are there in existence, MC?
Yes, exactly. So that is actually something the Intel engineers, whenever they were doing their tours or their PR stuff, the likes of Linux, Gamers Nexus, they did mention that. And they also mentioned that okay, so of course they can't do every game. The time is really not there, the resources might not be there. So they said like what they are doing is they are checking out the top most played games on Steam. That is why majority of the what do you call them?
The
What of the benchmarks you will see
uh-huh.
like their Dota 2, CS:GO. Those are like the popular games you get. So they're
Yeah.
trying to focus on that.
Me if
So
anything,
even like
you know what? Me I would tell them. Me I would want them to make like a separate. Like the way the Elgato sell like a encoder, like that capture card. I would want them to
Yeah.
maybe sell like an AV1 encoding card, because if they're that good,
it's already there, isn't there?
I don't think
Isn't
so.
that like your
If you
Irish
want,
GPU?
wait, no,
Like
the
automated GPU.
no. Hey, AV1 is a new one. AV1 is new. Is a new
Oh,
encoding.
okay. The
It's
new
it's a new encoder. It's not say encoder. Is it encoder? Codec. It's a new video codec basically. It's like MP. It's like a codec like MP4, but now a newer one that is supposed to be like half the size, better and at the same quality as something like. That's why I mentioned when I was explaining, like, let's say for YouTube 1080p, I need 8,000 kilobits, 1080p 60 for your stream to actually look decent. So for AV1, you would need, if not half, something like 3,000 kilobits for you to achieve the same. You see, that would be very nice, because, hey man, do you know how, like, that is not bandwidth intensive? Because apparently Twitch has even been trying to implement the AV1 encoder for a long time onto their streams, since, of course, MP4 is very it's not as big, but it's still a very big file. No. So I think maybe, have you understood your part?
I think I've gotten.
Yeah, it's basically
Like
a codec for the
feel
mass
like
consumers. Mashika,
I feel like it would
it
it wouldn't sell well if they made such a product.
wouldn't
There's
sell
no
well.
reason of making it. Yeah, it's well
Because
is a lot.
wait, akina
Well is a
Intel,
lot.
akina Nvidia might catch up, ama.
No. Like imagine,
Akina Nvidia,
releasing a no, so it's not even about that. Releasing a GPU purely for encoding purposes. That's what you're suggesting.
no, see, maybe they try if it's so good.
I don't know. I don't think it would sell well. I see so many reasons
Yeah.
why no one would release that. I see why they would bundle that technology with the gaming GPUs that they have, because then they have like multiple propositions in their product. We are giving you a GPU to game, and you can also maybe stream on it, encode on it. The same thing NVIDIA does with the NVENC. The same AMD does with the equivalent. Apparently, most people who buy GPUs, the add-on services actually do help them sell more. That's why NVIDIA is doing so well in terms of selling GPUs, because of their software suite. And that's why maybe
Unajua
AMD do so well.
AMD's encoder has been so trash for a long time. Actually, it's just the
Yeah.
other day that they've started actually taking it seriously.
Yeah, you can imagine. Already that means, so number one, AMD with their piece graphics card, they don't really sell well for gaming alone. So can you imagine like a similar product just for encoding, the sort of troubles it would have, the uphill battle in terms of, number one, explaining what it is you are trying to sell. Because very few people would understand that. A lot of people just imagine, buy this GPU, slap it on our PC and game. But all of a sudden you are saying, this thing that looks like a GPU is not for that. You
But
can already see the troubles they're having.
the V1 encoder, you admit, is embedded in the new Alder Lake systems. So
Yeah, you can get it there.
yeah, but still streaming with your CPU, man. Hey, you will notice your game, and you will just notice something in the game.
CPUs nowadays are so you get so
Multi.
many powers.
The problem is, does OBS design their like? The issue is there's so many cores, but are there enough applications to take advantage of the horsepower that is going around? Michiga. So I don't feel like, I feel like because the industry had been in 4 cores for so long, I feel like still we're not in a stage where you need actually something that is more than 4 cores for your computer to work properly. I don't think we're at that stage. Windows itself does not even consume that much. So I don't know, but I would say it's a step in the right direction, because of course the duopoly between AMD and NVIDIA is not, as you can see, due to the shortage. We suffered a lot as gamers. There's a lot of suffering. Kushex was saying that the cards are trash.
What I was meaning by that is that easy cards which they come with the laptops. I know they're integrated, but in my perspective, compared to like AMD, they are like downgraded. They're not that good.
Oh, you mean the Intel graphics?
Yeah. Like you take like the 520 compared
No,
to the
but
like
no, you see, those are different. Those are not the same as ARC GPUs. It's not the same
yeah.
architecture.
But I hope Arc will be able to catch up.
And you have a noisy mic. So you enable noise suppression on Discord. Because we can hear kids. We can hear kids in the background.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, yes. I don't know. Me, I just wanted to, because the issue is AMD is not challenging NVIDIA enough. No. NVIDIA needs to be challenged for them to wake up. You see the way AMD challenged Intel, and Intel was like, okay, we have to really make better CPUs. I don't think AMD have put NVIDIA in a position where we have to make actually extremely good GPUs and make them competitively priced.
I think you're fair in that, but I've come to realize sometimes things are not. Oh, dude, these guys are a lot of echo.
Can hear ourselves. That's what I'm enable suppression.
Yeah, it's always
When
awkward.
you're on headphones, you're on headphones, or maybe Eka push to talk. So you, when you want to speak, you just press push to talk.
Yeah, it is so jarring whenever we speak enough we hear ourselves. Anyway, as I was saying, I understand perfectly what you are saying, Bloody. That they need sometimes to gain market share. They do have to do that. But I came to realize it's easier said than done, because actually AMD were working on their Ryzen platform ever since they failed with Bulldozer. It took them like close to 7-8 years and even longer in R&D. It actually takes a lot of time. You heard it was like $5 billion investment or something. It will eventually pan out to what it is right now. And also keep in mind, they are still not in them. They are just starting to take the market share. In terms of new GPUs, in terms of new CPUs, AMD that is, not in terms of what is already out there. Majority of the systems out there are Intel CPUs, but majority of now people are trying to buy AMD CPUs. It takes so much time, effort, and money for any sort of those two players, for any of them to catch up. That is why. That actually carries on to my next point. That is why NVIDIA is so good at GPUs. NVIDIA, the only thing they have been doing for longer than anyone, is GPUs. They know it so well. That is why they do so well.
But they need.
That is why.
I still maintain they need a fucking competitor. These guys are molesting us.
Oh, that is actually that. I don't think things work that way. I really don't think. I think everyone at AMD really does want for their GPUs to sell well. But
these new ones are good.
When it comes down to it, yeah, they are not the best, but they are good, like you said. But when it comes down to it, someone eventually will weigh the cost of maybe eventually overtaking NVIDIA, and look at maybe how long it will take, the amount of money, where it will come from, and then at the end, you have to hope that your competitor doesn't have something better.
Up
So
their
number one,
sleeve,
maybe, yeah. So improving on some of these things is more difficult than anything. Especially right now where we are, it's harder and harder to make these electronics. I'm even surprised we even get new CPUs, given how hard it is to shrink the die anymore. We are going to get 2 nanometer with the new Ryzens. Is it 2 or 4?
Probably 4. So when they cross a specific number, a specific length, so itakuwa practically impossible.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, you get what I mean. Like that is actually what it takes to get better. Most times you have to shrink and shrink. Or
shrink and add more.
Yeah, you can shrink and add. But of course it is an engineering challenge. The more you add, the more heat. There are Pretzlau.
The more power.
Yeah, man, you can imagine. Like maybe the die will change, and also you have to think down the road. Like you have to think of compatibility. You also have to think of. You have to test it first of all. The testing process is the most important, because I've heard Even I think you can back me guys up on this. Like your system, the last thing that will die on your PC is your CPU. That is how well they are made and tested. So to have all that and to have it new and shiny, and also to have it in time, and also to have it be the best product, given that your opponent is doing even better, or they are also trying to climb the same ladder. It is more difficult than anything.
I mean,
And
my
also to be
CPU,
compatible.
my CPU is quite old and it's still kicking.
Yeah, it's still kicking. Even if now you go on eBay, you can still buy like quad cores, but you can't find a motherboard to fit it. The motherboards are all dead, but the CPUs are still alive. That is how good you have to make your CPU, and that is why I don't think anyone will ever catch up to NVIDIA. They are so good. I heard they are so good. They have this thing down to the 5th generation. They know if we release these are the next 4, bro.
This we will one up
Yeah.
you. You release this, we one up you with another thing.
Exactly. You remember there was a time where NVIDIA was competing with themselves, and you actually saw how that affected the pricing. You remember the second gen RTX cards, the first gen RTX cards, the 20 series.
They were so trash, and the way they were performance was not that good.
Expensive. And you remember the costs?
Yeah, they were expensive.
Yeah, they were expensive. That is what happens when you are that good, bro. You are just. I mean, there's no one even there to punch you, to fight with you. You are
But
just
right now they might, though right now at least Nani has entered the market. Intel might give them a run for their money, because I'm sure. But I think maybe Intel's strategy is to first of all corner all their productivity, because that's where all the money is. Kwanza, people working in offices, people working in video editing. Like those are the people they want to corner. I would say maybe because I think the thing with NVIDIA is, like you've said, they even partner up with software companies like Blender, Autodesk. So you find like maybe the 3D renderers I'm using right now, they support the NVIDIA cards very well as opposed to the AMD cards, which is something that annoys me with AMD. Like their driver support is, it's just something else, man. So. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe let's see what Intel can do. Because even the way they were touting the productivity with the codec and stuff, it seems that their angle is to first of all dominate the productivity space, where, like, if you're being forced to, you're working in a company, hey, you have to use an Intel card because they are so good at doing the job that is required. No, maybe that's their approach, and then maybe now they can slowly trickle into gaming. Which is a smarter way, because to recoup the investment, Apple. And I mean, it's not like they're bad. Again, with the quick sync encoder, which is from Intel, dude, I've streamed with my laptop. Like, I used to stream via LAN cable. I remember streaming Red Dead Redemption via LAN cable to my laptop. So, and the stream wasn't looking that bad, and the laptop was not like getting taxed. No. So, of course, as Kushek had said, it was the integrated graphics, the ones that were there before. They were not good. That's no lie. They were really not good. But again, they were just there to, kushikilia the system. Like, you can perform day-to-day things. Maybe you can watch a 4K movie without stuttering. I would say that is why maybe most laptops came with that integrated GPU. Because if you do not have one, and the way people are consuming media has become unanimous everywhere. Everyone is consuming videos. So even if you see something like AV1, something like AV1 is a combination of all of these companies are in it. Microsoft, and NVIDIA, Netflix, Apple themselves are in it. Like they're in the development of that encoder. So you can see they've seen that there's a need for video. So maybe that's why again Intel are approaching it in there. Like, hey, let's first of all corner the productivity market so that we can, give ourselves a name. Like, let's spread our name out there so that people can know we have graphics cards. Kushax, what were you saying?
Don't you think that they started with the Iris XE?
Probably they started there, and then maybe someone came in the company and was like, hey, NVIDIA is making so much money. Why aren't we making this money? So probably.
Yeah, because it has come a long way since around 2019 was the first time they announced this graphics card.
Yeah, and right now you can see even like poaching Because even the guy with the spectacles, I've forgotten his name. He used to work at
Raj
NVIDIA.
Kudori.
No, leave that one. Even that one. But there's also another one, the one that was showcasing it, like marketing it with the creators. He's also from NVIDIA, so it's good. Overall, it's good. We are going to benefit. Again, it's not there is, I don't know, I'm not sure. Is the ARC A750 the highest end, Ama? Which one is it? Let me Google that again. Because I was trying to look at that and like see all the GPUs they have. Let me look. GPUs. Let me look at the overview up. Give me a sec. Let me switch up my scene. Because I was trying to look and see like which cards do they have? Because the performance I was talking about is from the ARC A750. So I don't know if that's their flagship, or I don't know if that's their flagship or their nini.
They also have a A770.
A770, then that must be their flagship. Because now I want to know which. Now they've not given us benchmarks for the Ace. Wait, because the one that is on their site right now is the A750 versus an RTX. And of course, I can see there is even Vulkan, but Vulkan is such a good API. Hey, most of the games that run on Vulkan have high FPS, which is crazy, man. I don't understand what's the difference between it and DX12. Vulkan is open source, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Intel will come a long way.
Wait, I'm looking. Let me see. Let me check for desktop. I want to see the specific cards they have, because I know the entry one is the A350. If I'm not wrong, it's supposed to be at $150. Okay, they have an ARC A380. That's the entry one, right? So, which one? Why can't they just? Why do they have to make this so challenging? So you just list them. God damn. Just list the
Well,
cards.
that is what they have like done for years since 2019. I guess the ARC, it's not like the first time. It has resurfaced around 3 times. And
Okay.
people
I've seen
never
it.
knew the details.
I've seen the list. So this is from GPU Mag. So the lists are the list is for fuck's sake. Just I hate websites that don't list stuff. On Google it looks like a list. So we have the ARC 350. I think there's a mobile version and there's a desktop one. We have the ARC A770 with 16 gigabytes. What's the difference between these two? Oh, there's an 8 GB one and a 16 gig one. And then we have the ARC A750, and then we have now the ARC A380. No, A5. Yeah, there's a A580. 4 more rows. Let me go down to that list. Give me a sec. Pat Gelsinger. So yeah, okay, here is the list. So the list is A310 for $100, A350 for $150, A380 for $139, the A550 $200, A580 $220, A750 $300, A770 $400. I mean, $300 is not bad, isn't it? That is assuming you're going to play modern games, like versus an RTX 3060.
50.
Versus an RTX 3060. I don't think it's that bad. Slutty, what do you think?
About
The pricing, the
50%
A750.
better.
It's 300.
I don't think it just. Oh, the pricing is good. Isn't that their top tier one?
The top tier one is the
pricing is good,
A770, which is 400.
Yeah.
But now they've not shown us the performance for A770 banner. They need to show us so that we can gauge.
We'll have to wait. You'll have to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to show us that because
Don't you think they have like at first like what he was saying
what
to make the games work? Well,
probably that's what they're doing at the moment.
yeah, because I guess when games are being produced, they never thought Intel will do that.
Hey, but man,
So
I just wish the best for them because again, if they can be compared,
needed to be disconnected from the internet. Data collection needed to be disabled, and we will definitely need to avoid revealing any FPS counters so that we don't leak any sensitive performance numbers. Are two systems with identical specs running the
but the S770 from it doesn't look bad. I think by there the future is integration. If they can find a way to integrate, you see the way Apple has integrated their CPU, their GPU within one chip. I'm not saying that they should do that for graphics card and for graphics cards and CPUs. I think what they should do is like create an integration protocol that is so good that hey, even if maybe you're lacking behind on some titles, you find that because you have an Intel CPU, you can like jump ahead of the competition because of the very fact that you have an Intel CPU. And this is something that AMD GPUs have started to enjoy. I don't know if there's anyone who has activated it. It's called what? Direct access memory, Ama? Slotty.
Yeah, it is. The one that works in union with AMD and
the GPUs. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, damn, man.
It offers up to 6%. 6% game improvement. Is it 6%?
Now they need to make it even better. They need to. I think what needs to happen is the traditional design of a motherboard. I think the way they are like wanashikana, the way they are like banding up together and coming up with like a new video encoder. I think that is they need to they need to do the same thing with like how to integrate CPU parts. Like, hey, like design your CPU in a way that I can utilize my GPU even better. No. Or RAM, or maybe the memory is shared. Because I think that's the problem that there is right now. You find maybe Intel has their own protocol, AMD has their own protocol, nini. No. If they can standardize that, which is something, see, they announced something like that. I don't know, it's the Superlink or something. Hyperlink. The one that NVIDIA refused to join. Where they were like, the companies are banding up to create a protocol of sharing, like integration with their hardware. Because that's, I think that's the only advantage with like Mac systems. And the fact that the CPU is like right there close to the GPU. You find that's why those things are so good performance wise. No. So
yeah.
I think it can be done even on CPU or even on desktop. I just think it's just a matter of them be willing to work together too. Because I think, I mean, ARM is a serious threat. From the way Apple has shown, ARM can be a serious threat to the CPU market as we know it. So, I don't know. About do you think, Slatty? Do you think ARM can be a serious challenger? Or should we save that for another day?
I think it's interesting whenever people speak that or bring that up. What people don't understand is the instruction set. Or what it takes to make a similar program in ARM and what it takes to make a similar program in 6. 6 is a complex instruction set. That is your PC right now, x86. Let's just call it x86. That is what is popular right now. And ARM uses something called RISC, reduced instruction set. So you can do less, but you can do more, but not a lot at the same time. It's like imagine you have to bundle everything you want to do in one thread and do it. That is how RISC works. I will not get into the technicalities of it, but this is the point that everyone should maybe know. In terms of software, which is actually what makes our computers, you would have to redesign your software to work with RISC. So to work on ARM basically. That means like most apps will have to be redesigned, or there will have to be a compatibility layer for it to work well. The compatibility layer is there. I think Windows has one. That is why Windows 10 actually runs on ARM to some level. But for your app to run really, really well, you have to optimize it. That is why Mac at the moment is some apps run really well on it, some apps don't. And also maybe something to keep in mind. Most AAA video games, that means the games you and I like to play, Apex and so on, they do not use reduced instruction set. It just won't work. It is not at the engine level. It is not there at the API level. Maybe it is at the API level, especially the X12, but with other tools, it will just not work. So basically what I'm saying it is, of course, in terms of power gains, it is there to be had, but the actual work to make that feature possible is at the developer's hands, or whoever is making the software and so on. You'll have to rework everything. There will have to be an ARM version of your favorite software, of Steam, of your favorite game, for that feature to be valid.
So you feel like maybe
And
the desktop market will be a niche thing. It'll be like, I mean, it already is. Not many people have desktops.
It is already a niche thing. That's what you're saying. No, I think it will still have its place. There are some things you really can't get away with using ARM technology. I compile a lot. There are a lot of things I compile, and that sort of stuff. I don't think I'd use an ARM system. Plus, I like video games. That is for me. I know a few people are like me. So you and I, us in the chat here, we probably need a decent CPU. And there are some things which, the amount of time. Imagine the amount of time required to change everyone eventually to be an ARM user is there may be millions of years, because everyone who made software for the normal platform x86 has to go back and rework it for ARM, all in the name of saving power, because that is what Apple does.
Saving
ARM is not
power.
really faster if you, but of course it saves so much, such few watts.
Maybe it's maybe it's going to be okay, you can see maybe a future with portable tabs and laptops.
Yeah, it can be there.
Portability probably, ndio.
Yeah, I would love that.
In the portability market.
Other things. Yeah, I would want to enjoy other things with with maybe. I think the most disappointing thing about all these race to ARM is that Apple have done it so wrong. It's so much cheaper to make an ARM system, because
so for them it's more of cost. It's not like that.
They are not spending enough. They are not spending as much money as they were whenever they were dealing with Intel, but they are not passing at the same time. They are not passing the savings to us. You understand?
But why?
It costs even more to buy the bloody, what do you call it, the Mac system, which has
But why wouldn't they choose to work with AMD? Because Apple are just weird. You know what's funny is they have. The thing is, they have AMD GPUs and then they have Intel CPUs. So I'm like, why can't you just work with AMD for CPUs and work with the NVIDIA? Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, it is, but I don't think things work that way. I believe where Apple is at the moment, Apple really just wants to keep making more money. They just want to keep making more money. They want to do everything for themselves.
In-house.
That's why they make their hardware, they make their software. Yeah, they want to make all the money in the world. It is really about that. I don't believe there's a decision they will ever make that it is really for us. Because, I mean, I'll say this again. It is cheaper. It might actually cost 20% to make an ARM system than it does to make an x86 system. But the price is not the same. Dude, think about that. It is cheaper for them to make it more than ever. Even if they are doing it themselves, it is cheaper for them to make it. But you and I we still don't buy Macs because they are crazy expensive. I thought they would, by them doing this, I'm not saying make the whole bloody ecosystem cheap, but have something entry level that is decent for you to sell your idea. Because at the end of the day, what actually carries an idea forward is adaptability. The many people will eventually have electric car. Yeah,
and most people are on the
cars are facing. Yeah, electric cars are not being bought by you and I because they are still bloody expensive.
It's expensive to maintain.
Yeah. So I don't think it will ever catch on, and until the day that thing is affordable, it won't work out. So,
I mean, that is if Windows can. You're saying if Windows can make Windows running on ARM proper.
Yes, that's actually my next point. But Windows does not have Microsoft. Microsoft has all the brains in the world when it comes to making software. But apparently they fumble the bag whenever it comes to hardware. I don't know why. They've been doing it forever. They've did it with their MP3 player. They did it with their phones. They did it with HoloLens. They'll keep doing it. I don't know why. Whenever it comes to hardware, I don't know what happens to them. It's like all of a sudden You know, they can't.
Everyone has an Achilles heel. I mean, Apple has. They can't do
Yeah.
gaming properly.
Exactly. Do you remember the abomination that was Windows 8 because they wanted it to run on tablets?
I hated it. Windows 8 was
Yeah, that
good
is
on
what they
phone.
do.
Was good
Yeah,
on
but-
phone,
yeah,
but not
exactly.
good on Nini. I still have a Nini.
Yeah,
I still have a
I
Windows.
know you do.
Ndoka hapa hata
know,
let me
like,
let me hata acha nikaashe
the-
kwanza. Let me kako wapi? Iko focus.
Guys, do you know? Actually,
Is
when
there?
You see? Still functional, still very responsive the way like which was the site, eh? Like you see it's very responsive. Like the way it used to be and yeah, easy zoom hapa vizuri. But it's such a dude, they should have stopped. They should have made more.
Can you make me like
developments.
understand something? Yeah. This guy was doing YouTube and shit. He was using Android and he kept Windows 10. Yeah, 10. So, what version of Windows was he using? Was it an ARM based or?
Wait, what?
I didn't understand.
Abu rephrase the question.
There was a guy.
Uh-huh.
He used an Android and kept Windows 10.
Oh, he managed to boot Windows 10 on an Android phone.
Yeah, he installed.
Yeah, that's
So, I
that's
don't
an
know.
ARM-based version of Windows. There is that.
Windows 10.
There's people running Windows 11 even on Lumia 950.
Yeah,
They-
they are the same, which they come with their service laptops.
No, it's
Windows.
not the same. It's not the same. It's
not the same?
okay. The overall interface might look the same, but the underlying
Yeah.
instructions and whatever is happening in beneath is not the same. Because I mean, I can't just pull up an app from my PC and then put it on my phone. And because it's also using Windows 10, the Windows 10 mobile version, it's going to need. Because even if you look at the Nini, at the settings, you see they look similar to Nini. I have to really. Let me. Is there a way I can capture this screen? There was a way I used to capture this screen. Alright, but so you see the menu looks the same. Let me look at the stream on YouTube. That is Chana Intel.
Okay.
But you see, if you're on YouTube, you see the menu like the action bar on the bottom right corner of Windows. It almost looks the same to this one on phone. Like even the icons look identical. So it feels like I'm using like in an integrated
Oh,
system.
yeah.
You see?
It's like a PC. Yeah, I can
Yes.
see the notification bar is actually what is there. Yeah. I
Yep.
get it.
You see even the style, yeah. So, it's not like I can pull up even the Microsoft Store, although maybe it's not as functional right now. You see, almost the same as the one on your
Yeah.
PC. But right now, I think
Pick up a phone call.
right. So yeah, it might look the same, but it's not the same thing. Trust me, because even the store here, the Microsoft Store on your phone, it's going to tell you like, hey, you can see like PC apps being listed, but whenever you click on them, it's only going to tell you maybe this is available on Xbox or on Windows only. I don't know why it's saying just a moment. But you can even see the animations for loading, even the menu bar hapo chini looks like Windows kabisa.
Yeah.
So
But the weird thing about this guy who was testing, he actually downloaded some games from Steam and
managed
he
to
actually
run
played.
them. Yeah, probably that's what I'm saying. He downloaded the ARM version of Windows, and then because it has there's a Windows for ARM that has a compatibility whatever translation, like it can convert the x86 whatever things to work on ARM. Probably that is what he was using. But yeah, it's not. It's to an extent the one he was using probably is like the same thing to this one, the one we are using. But trust me, it's not really the same. But yeah, anyway, I mean, I don't think I have anything else to contribute because the show is usually 1 hour. Do you have any closing remarks?
No, I don't know. Unless a question, I don't have.
Anyway, wait, a question. Wait, where are you from?
Puro.
Oh, Nakuru. Oh, I remember talking to you now.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a different name in the other. I've remembered you. I was like, I have heard that voice before. But yeah, the show is usually live every Saturday, 5 to 6. It's just that sometimes I'm away. So if the show is not there, just know I'm busy. I'm away, or I can't, or maybe some. I think I'd pause because of the political shenanigans that was going on.
Yeah.
Again, I hate politics.
Don't
So
you think like are the like laptops which have GPUs in Kenya, are they overpriced?
no, the problem with here is the tax. The minute a laptops are very cheap huko nje. The minute you come here, that's when you will know. The minute they enter through KRA, the price shoots up like crazy.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend who was bought for a laptop like in US for like 30K, and the thing has like a Ryzen with 8 cores. I'm like, what? You bought it at how much? But now you see, it did not come with the packaging. It came like it's something personal. No. So it was not taxed. So the thing here is just taxation. So if they say $500 huko, ongeza ka 20K huko. That is how it works.
I was looking for a good laptop, and they're really overpriced.
Then you saw the price is like 100 plus. Yeah, if you want a good laptop, it's like 150K plus. That's where you're going to get like a really good price. I mean, not price, but price to performance ratio. So yeah, Sulati, I was saying, do you have any closing remarks? We've come to the end of the show.
Oh, okay. We've come to the end of the show.
Yeah, Stima ilikuwa imepotea. That's why he was not here earlier.
No, yeah. Actually, I missed the first 20 minutes of the show. But maybe I would like to say this, particularly about the topic. Intel are here to challenge NVIDIA. Especially on the Intel GPUs. I think if you can get them at a good price, you will suffer the pain of being an early adopter. A lot of things will not work for you. It will be a buggy mess. But maybe I think they might actually be decent up to the maybe the third generation, which actually they were already talking about. Because the one after this one is B, C, and then there will be D. I can't remember the name, but there will be there. I hope they actually follow through, but they also didn't mention their success is solely based on how many people buy their GPUs, because that means they can get tons of feedback, they can do optimization. I think Intel might they might disrupt the market, but there is a huge caveat to that. Number one, they have to stay in the game. So yes, to hoping if you buy a GPU now, you won't be abandoned by them. So there's also that risk. Companies tend to leave consumers out in the open.
Yes, like Microsoft left me with my phone. I remember WhatsApp stopped functioning, and then I knew now Nivo, it's like that. We are done. The last thing,
and you can't call anyone.
the last thing functioning up is Nini. The one that I use is OneDrive, OneNote, Outlook Mail, Outlook Calendar, and Spotify. And the Spotify one does not. Spotify does not even display the homepage. It can only show your playlists. So, yeah. But I had a good time with this phone. Please, they need to come back.
If you buy now, you will suffer that. But I think eventually things will get better. I don't know how GPUs are going to get better. It's harder and harder to make electronics. But these things usually, you can't say they work themselves out. If we've seen anything is that things really can go south. You've seen how long Intel has taken to move from 14, is it 12 nm to lower. I think they're actually starting to do it now or perfect it. So
7 nanometer.
Buy now, suffer for the rest of us who will eventually buy. That's maybe my takeaway. And
all right,
always buy after reviews.
Listen to Tech Jesus himself. Listen to Hardware Unboxed. Follow, do your research. And again, for everything that we've talked about today, maybe you're interested in the charts. Again, go join my Discord under references. I post everything, even on the chat for this voice channel. I do post the links, the videos, those encoder things I was talking about. I mean, the first 20 minutes of the show I was talking about the encoder. I was explaining some stuff in there, but yeah. Anyway, I don't think I have anything else to say. If you enjoyed the show, the show. I mean this the show. Make sure you listen in on Spotify. Again, if you want to watch the video on Spotify, you have to actually use a VPN. I recommended WitScribe. Go onto your profiles. Logging in. I mean, using the VPN. Change to the country. To a country that supports video. This is USA probably, and then maybe change your region, and then you'll be able to watch every podcast that is in video form on Spotify. For the other podcast platforms, unfortunately, they do not support, so it's a Spotify exclusive things. So for some of these charts that we're talking about on the show, you can watch them on Spotify. But if that is a hassle, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Log into the YouTube, subscribe, and rewatch the show. So, yeah, and I don't think I have anything else to say. Maybe follow me on Instagram. I should see you guys in the next one. So, peace out.